Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. All right. Yeah, I saw some people didn't get notifications. My audience rarely gets notifications, I think, right? I just kind of come on around this time, and if you're aware, you catch. If you don't, you don't. If you aren't, you don't. All right, here's our little object right here. I already captured right there. I'm going to go ahead and start this loop up. Here we are, January 31st, 2024, the last day of a long January, more like January 4th. I got that from somebody else, but I like it. Anyways, boom, we have this big blast over here. We got this slow motion event going on down here as well. Little squirts and spits and sputters, but clearly there is an object in that one there. We'll just kind of catch it right on the frame because we got a lot to cover tonight. I hope you guys got your refreshments and everything. Oh, look over here on the red side too. First, before we get to this frame, let's back up a little bit. You see our dark patch right there? Round circular dark patch surrounded by plasma. That's our object. It goes from 1436 to 1505, so it jumped a little bit, but we're able to capture it right there. It's still washed out over here, but you can see the bulge here in the instrumentation where it's at there. So we'll get to this next frame. Okay, you can barely make it out. No, that's still there's a little indentation right here in the instrumentation where it's at. What we're going to see is the ghost image, the negative image of it that's a frame behind here. And that's probably a good one right there. Either one of them's pretty good, but let me just zoom in on this one for us first. Kind of center this. You know what? I think I'm picking up too much of the top of the screen here. Give me just a second to make an adjustment while you guys look at that for a sec. There we go. Yeah, I had my tripod up a tad bit too high. That's why we were having problems. Okay, hard to miss it. Boom, round circular object right here. You can see the plasma around it. It's magnetic field. It's moving out, creating this CME right here. Here, wait, before you zoom out. Let's go back a frame. There's our jump, boom. But there it is. And then bang, the next frame. Almost kind of looks to have a little dark moon with it here. It's kind of hard to see. There's a little dark circular right in here. Let's see if we drag it to the top of the screen or maybe down a little lower. Nah, it's about as bright as I can get it there. There also seems to be something going on up in here too. See that, you guys? See this other bulge right in here, and there's a little black center to it as well. So probably multiple objects right here causing a pretty healthy CME. Okay. So let me pull back out of this a little bit. 125. There we go. And then it proceeds to move on out of frame there. Okay, so that was about all the action for today there. We'll kind of keep going. You can see little stuff here and there kind of in the flow in the background. Also, this long-term event kind of finally tapering off here. And then that was it. So I'm going to start the loop again. And let that play or scroll right there. All right. Actually, right there for you guys. All right, I'll let that loop play for a second. Let you guys kind of look at that. So get a sip here. Move on to our next instrument. Also, I'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you all for coming tonight, giving me some of your time. It's hard to find 5 minutes of people's time these days, you know, especially for something so important. Oh, man, what they're missing out on. Ugh. Anyways, we got to keep going here. Let's get on over here to our solar ham and check out the GOES X-ray flux. There's not much to look at really here. Let's just pull this up like this. Can we, Lord? Let me pull it up. The other one. Oh, I should have just zoomed in. Okay, I want this. Yep. There we go. You can see here's today's little box. Pretty quiet. In fact, that did not do what I wanted at all. Wasting time here, messing around. All right, there we go. You can see today's box looks pretty quiet, doesn't it? Just a small little spike here, barely an M class, but that was our event today, that one that we just watched right there. So otherwise, pretty quiet activity. The X-ray flux coming out of the sun, the flux of it is now lowering down below the seafloor, and little pops and sputters. We're currently experiencing a little one right there at the end, but that's nothing. All right. So there's your GOES X-ray for today. The heartbeat of the sun. And then, as you can see, our M flare potential 25%. Proton event is over, down to 1% now. X-ray flare or X flare potential 1%. C flare 95. Just a few sunspots. They're all in green, but it's this big bad boy right here rounding the edge that we're all concerned about, that we're all going to watch here. And this one is this region as well. Okay. Says solar activity so far on Tuesday has been, oh, this is the same one from yesterday. You can see our KP is kind of waiting. It was up there, dropped a little bit, climbed back up a little bit, but now it's back down to 1 again. So our geomagnetic field is kind of down at 1 right now. Opening up the auroras here, take a peek at these. This is not doing it justice. Trying to show you that there's fading in this one right here. It's very weak. It's not. Here, let me do this a little bit. Pull it back to normal. And then this camera sometimes is too good. It picks up too much light. So I want you to be able to see here how the field is a little weak now on these sides right here. That's good. It's, green, which is the lowest level. So our auroras for the moment are very mild. Okay, very low energy. Not totally missing, but still something there, Okay. All right, let me brighten this back up a tad bit to there. And then we're going to back out of this. Did that work? I think it did. All right, thank you for answering, you guys. I heard you. This isn't showing anything. I don't think it'd be coming off the side and probably going down this direction anyway. So, oh, here they got one side going up that way at least. So nothing coming directly at us. Good news there. Okay, I love good news. I will take that all day. Think that was it here. Yeah, let's come on over here now to this image here of the sun. Do you see this image of the sun? This is a collaboration, a compilation, all put together, a bunch of solar flares over the course of January. This is just the course of January. Look at what the sun was doing in the month of January there. All right, so let's come on up here. It says the forecast calls for quiet. The CME that was expected to graze Earth yesterday missed. This sets the stage for 24 hours of quiet. So, yay. Hopefully they're right and it missed and I was wrong. I love being wrong sometimes because, especially in a case like this where we didn't get anything, that's what they're saying. I think that they're expecting it a day early. Yesterday it missed. Well, it's not even due until tomorrow, until, right around from this time on. So they may have jumped the gun a little bit and hasn't reached us yet. And because I wasn't expecting it to hit until the 1st. It takes 3 days sometimes longer. They were like, oh, it's going to be here in a day and a half. No, it's still on its way, I think. Anyways, for now, the forecast calls for quiet. CME expected to graze Earth missed. All right. So that's what they're telling us. That's fine. I would love that that's the case. This sets the stage for 24 hours of quiet. No CMEs are currently heading for Earth, and every sunspot on the disk is stable and unlikely to explode. See, we saw that low flux, the low X-ray flux. So the sun's going stable for a minute. Okay, even though we have these big sunspots, it actually kind of going stable. Also, here the sun exploded a lot last month. This composite image shows the 10 strongest solar flares of January 2024, all in one composite photo. Doesn't that? It looks like my hair in the morning when I wake up. Grabbing a cup of coffee or a monster going, oh my God. All right, pretty cool image here, though. A composite image of the 10 strongest solar flares over just in January of 2024. Sun's been very busy, very active. It says clearly the sun was active last month, even hyperactive for a few days. Cellini's composite shows that many of the strongest flares were located on the sun's limb, not Earth directed. Notice that? They are on the limbs. A lot of them are. Back to this. This is why our planet experienced no strong geomagnetic storms despite the explosions. We were not in the line of fire. Yay! Honestly, I think it was your prayers. I know it was. The sun's poor shooting is unlikely to continue. The solar maximum is coming perhaps late this year. Okay, so they're still thinking solar maximum is coming later this year. We all know it's coming. We all know it's coming. Anyways, interesting image here. Come on over here. Check it out if you want to. Good little articles and stuff. We got to move on to the Schumann. And if we can get this just right there is better for your viewing. Oh, wait, we got a scooch. I forgot. Oh, wait until we're in the spiritual realm. We don't have to play this game anymore. All right. Here we go. Oh, trying to get minus the wavy lines. There's a Goldilocks point right here between the camera and the screen where we can kind of bypass the wavy lines. Oh, right about there. Anyways, good enough. Thanks for your patience. Whew. We have a green line. Thankfully, you see this little dip right in here where it got a little weak. We had some screeching going on here. It got weak right in this little zone. Look down here, see it was dark. This whole little zone right there, we had a little brown out for, not brown out, small one for a minute, but it still stayed pretty strong. See that one little stripe in the middle right there, that little dark stripe? So there was one little blip, but then coming back to life again. There's a good screech right there, but then coming back to life again. So our magnetic field is fluctuating. It's strong, it's weak, it gets dispersed, it gets, concentrated again, gather strength, but then we start to grind again and it loses strength. Pew, we have these pew, pew, where the power just kind of drops out for a minute there. You see what I'm saying? Good. Let's see. Trying to get them little wavy lines out. There we go. That's about the best we can get right there. So it's very important that we have a nice stable green line going across here. This fluctuating it's not good. It's not healthy for everybody, and it's causing issues, whether you notice it or not. Okay, and that's our core shell dynamo mechanism that radiates out our magnetic field that protects our planet. All right. It's generated from within like a little electric motor spinning inside of magnets. It generates a magnetic field. When that motor stops, that magnetic field goes down and it weakens. But there's still magnetism in the motor. So it leaves a residual little weak field like this. But then what we need is a good strong field. And go research what happens when they take away the Schumann resonance to astronauts. They lose their minds, they become violent, and they tear each other apart. When we start losing our magnetic field like that, it influences people's moods, their bodies. They get sore, irritable, and they want to be combative. All right? So it's not the people necessarily, it's the planet doing this to you. And the sun is doing this to the planet. So ultimately, it's the sun that's doing this to you through the planet. All right. You guys are getting this. Most of my audience understands this. I don't need to carry on like this. But for some people who still haven't figured it out, we gotta get this solidified here so you guys understand what this instrument is, what it does, and how to read it for what it's worth. Now let's move on here. We got to get over here to is that it next? Yeah. And readjust back to our mainframe kind of stance here. There we go. So our polar vortex here has kind of widened out a little bit. It's getting a little bit bigger. It's still very organized, tight, and compact, but it seems to be branching or just spreading out ever so slightly. It's really what it's doing is dipping more down this way. You see how thick this whole stream is right here of purple. So it used to be this thickness right here, so it's getting thicker here. And when I release this, you see this inflow that's feeding it, right? All right, so now what do we have over here but another small subvortex? Just way up here off of Maine. But you see this flow right here starting to come together right here. We're getting another subvortex here doing a pinch off, is kind of pinching this off a little bit in this zone and shoving it more that way. So this little vortex on the opposite side, or on that side, is showing on the opposite side effects over here by shoving it further down towards India, into China, Saudi Arabia here. Let me take the wind off. You can see the borders and boundaries and everything there. All right, so this region also, you see this vortex growing on this side right here? Like this would be the central point where my thing is, right here, getting smashed out, way out to here, and way out to here. So we're having a new little smashed out type vortex centrally located where my arrow is, right on this side, where the vortex has been pushed down now. It's been pushed in this direction and it's squeezing off at this blue boundary area and causing these sub-vortexes to move and rotate around. So we got one growing here over China and we got one growing up here on that side. Now, what I want to do while we're at this juncture right here with this view is I'm going to take it down a little bit lower. This is the layer in between the vortex and our upper jet stream. So back and forth real quick. There's the mid layer. There's the vortex. You see the, let me get it more like that. I want you to be able to see the similarities as we go lower and lower. So there's your vortex causing air at that level to move in this fashion. Then it affects the upper jet stream in this fashion. So that's how we get these big dips and everything out of that weird vortex. All right. Now look at what's happening here. You see this coming way up here to Iceland and then slamming down into the UK. They're going to get some cold air, some snow, and gnarly storm from cold air mass coming down here. Look how this thing runs a conveyor belt. Woo! And then mixes in with this main flow down here that's racing across South Africa, across Saudi Arabia. That's a thick, wide band right there of intense jet stream. Let me pull back so you guys get a reference a little bit better of how thick and wide that band of jet stream is. Okay, then it comes all the way around right through China, whipping all the way across the Pacific Ocean. Look at this thing. This is just a big, one huge, long freight train. And as soon as it hits the West Coast, it splits up, drives right up north right there, and splits and goes south here. It's actually starting to move more in this way now with the storm. So we still have this violent ridge that's shunting stuff way south and bringing it back up with moist air, hot moist air coming back up across the Gulf, getting even moister and hotter, and then hitting Florida region. So watch out, Florida region, this whole Gulf Coast region. When that storm comes through here, watch out. So there's our upper jet stream that's bringing that in. As we go down, here's the lower jet. Whoa. Let me get more over here on the West Coast so you can get oriented. And then we will drop down another layer. Now you see our weather. Here's this big storm right here brewing, coming in. Right there. We'll go even lower. Take this away. All right, and there's your storm right here, pulling cold air down out of Alaska. See it going all the way down here and then coming, hooking right up the coast right here. Look at this, you guys. Wow. So it's windy in the valley there. They're having winds from the south heading north. This is like the inflow for this storm. It's getting sucked right up into this. All right, so you can kind of see how it affects your weather patterns. It's fun to come over to this instrument and mess around with it. Find out all these different things to do that it does. All these different readings. Anyway, so we're going to go back. So everybody watch out for this storm coming through, especially the second one. This one back here, I think. Or no, this one right here. When it comes back down and rolls through there. Anyways, I want to get back to, particulates. And we'll do that one. Let's come check out our sandstorm. All right, so there's your sandstorm, still blowing off the coast of Africa, reaching all the way across the Atlantic and hitting the shores of South America here. All right. Is this a good wind current? Yeah, the wind current right here is, you can see how the wind's taking it. You see the wind pattern, taking it all the way over here, bringing it back up. And you can see this little patch out here in the Atlantic that's going to kind of come up and go in there a little bit. You can see some of this sandstorm hitting the coast of way up here. We got it hitting the coast of Spain, France, going up kind of over Great Britain right now, but then back down into the Netherlands here, and then Sweden. So pretty weird that this sand has made it way up in here too. And it's going all over the place. Let me take you to this right here is the total sand grit. It says right here, dust extrication, aerosol optical thickness, 550 nanogram or nanometers. But there's your dirt, dust, sand. Okay, and it's still the same pattern. All right, let me take the wind off there. You can still see it's going all over the place. You can still see this huge plume coming off of Africa right here. And even back in here, see, they're having issues in their dry area as well. Even, well, here is the Gobi Desert, but right behind the Gobi Desert, they're having sand issues. Yeah, even sandstorm down here, kind of in Australia. But look how it's coming at South America here. Let me see what these lines are. And just blasting South America. No, I'll put it back on the other color because the camera doesn't like that color very much. But see, there's your sand plume out of season. This usually happens in the summertime. It doesn't happen in the wintertime. So something wrong. Another indication, another sign from the earth. Okay. Yes, SO2. Let's get that look real quick. SO2 is sulfur dioxide, the gas that surrounds the lava down below. Let me get you the right. Well, all right. I want to get this as accurate as possible. So you can see your coloration, your darkness. It's kind of darkening up in this region right here. But look how the rest of the country is kind of clearing up. And when we look around the rest of the world, kind of, you'll see that America has really kind of cleaned up a little bit compared to everybody else. Here's this patch still around the Bay Area. Oh, now what we need to talk about is Hawaii and Kilauea, because Kilauea was going off. I hope you guys saw what I posted in the community today. Multiple earthquakes. This is going to be our new volcano right here. Maybe not Iceland. Maybe it's going to surprise and be here at Kilauea here in Hawaii. And it makes sense when we look at the bigger picture here. You'll see still here at Oahu pumping out tons of gas. So they're relieving gas while this is actually having a bunch of earthquakes right here at Hawaii. So what I want to do, though, is pull back and move on over to China and assess our pressure. See, we still got dark purple, kind of almost black, several spots here. That pressure down below is, whoa, look at this, you guys. It's leaking into the Gobi Desert right here. See this, the shoreline. This is that weak zone. Here was like the lake bed area, but here's that weak zone. This used to be cleared. Our gas was way up here just the other day. Remember? Look at this. Down below here, creeping closer to the shore, the ancient shoreline of that lake. And we'll go over the earthquake report. You'll see what I'm talking about. So our pressure, I'm leaving it at a 7. It's still there. We're still pumping out pressure, which down below, this is built up energy. This is kinetic energy that is building up under the earth, under the crust, and pushing gas out, causing earthquakes, causing volcanoes. All right, so we're going kinetic. The earth is going kinetic again, building up this energy, potential energy inside, and it's finding ways to vent. We got to have ways to release this energy in moderate form, not giant explosive form. So important that we watch this, track this pressure a little bit, and you can see the rest of the world is bleeding out too with this pressure or with this gas, all right? And let's not forget there's water down underneath there too. When we run out of this gas, water will come out and then lava, and then so we got to keep relieving pressure or else the inevitable will happen, or that'll be the inevitable. Coming up here to Iceland now, I want you guys to take a little peek at the gas coming out of Iceland right here and where it's coming out of. right here on the peninsula, right here at Reykjavik, okay? Here's this missing area of pressure. This whole island was producing pressure a little while ago. Now it really shifted to totally nothing, to a darker spot here and up here at this little bay, okay? So we still have the potential to see something happen here at Reykjavik. And that's a volcano with a big curtain of lava that shoots out of the ground. And look how small their gas emissions are compared to places like over here. Good Lord, think what happens if they had a tear or a crack in the surface here. You know, they would have a pretty good sized explosion here around Italy, around Saudi Arabia, you know, especially in China. One good perforation where they want to drill the deepest hole in the world. Yeah, drill it right in the middle, right there. Uh-huh. Anyways, little patch down here, as well as let's kind of go in here a little bit real quick. See, this is still dark purple in this region. There's still pressure pushing up a lot of gas. The purple denotes the density. You guys know that. So, all right, so a lot of pressure still going on. We're going kinetic, and I'd say the pressure level's at that 7 level right now. Okay, just little our own little scale that we kind of made here. Coming on over to earthquakes now. I'm going to do Hawaii last so we can just kind of bang through this real quick. All right, usually our deep quakes originate here, but we have this instead. This is a 5.8 down at 185. Now, this isn't a super deep quake, but I want you to think about something here. This is 185 kilometers deep. Say if you were doing 185 kilometers an hour in your car straight down towards the core, it would take you an hour to reach that depth. So 185 isn't super deep, but it is a semi-deep quake right there at 5.8. All right, so that's a little different. Usually it's a mid-range 4 deep quake in this region, and instead offset over here is a 5.8 down at 185. Now popping down here, 4.7 at 35. Entering the system on this side, 4.7. Notice the same energy, 4.7, 4.7. This thing kind of produced its own little surface type thing at 4.7. Look how quiet this region is. We have this pressure underneath stabilizing stuff, but 4.2 down at 17 there. Coming up here, 4.8. It's the same energy right there, 37.6 depth. 4.9 at a depth of 61. You know what we do with 9s around here, so we had a 5 there. Since they do it, I'm going to do it back to them. 4.2, 7.7 depth there. Anyways, very quiet in this region. Over the garden hose, kink in the garden hose, comes out the other side, 3.8, 3.5. Not much in that region, not much here, very quiet here. Okay, so it's kind of quiet around the Pacific Rim. We got here at the Cocos Plate, the 4.6 down at 41. Little flurry over here. What's this over by Italy real quick? 4.0 in Austria. Okay. Good. They need to relieve the pressure in that region. So we kind of went around this really quiet. This last one over India real quick, or up here in China, a 4.5 down at 10. You guys see this dry lake bed right here, or ancient body of water. You know, the floor of it right here, it's all compressed from the pressure of the water being on top of it. Very thick, very hard to dig into, very compact dirt and stuff. So that's where the gas doesn't leak out. And we had all these mountains protecting it too. Well, now we're seeing quakes in these mountains on the fringe, this 4.5, and that is this beach area, this weak zone right here where we're seeing the CO2 emissions now, is right in this shoreline, right, or, this ancient shoreline right here. So China's got a new little, their pressure is creeping closer and closer to this lake bed. I don't think it'll penetrate this lake bed because it's so thick and hardened or whatever, but it's pushing closer and closer right up to the edge of it from where it was before. Okay, so that's what's happening to China. Now, I want you to look how quiet the Pacific plate is, because right in the middle of the plate is Hawaii. And this tiny little red dot, oh, come on, this tiny little red dot. Let me adjust this little dot before we get, no. There we go. I want the coloration in here. Hopefully you guys can denote the red from the orange and the yellow, but geez, that's a lot of quakes. Do you see all these quakes? That's just this little spot right here. Let me scoot you down here. I'm gonna just pull back a little bit. We got a flurry here, and then this right here is our new weak spot, folks. Our weak spot showed itself, and it's going to be here at Kilauea. Oh, good. Whoa. Oh, there we go. Right about there. So you can see all the different red ones. These are current. These red ones just happened. All right. So this is an ongoing flurry and quite a major one. Most of them are small. They're 2.1s. There was a 3.2. I saw a 3.8 in here somewhere, or 3.5. It's totally buried now, but quite the quake swarm going on here. And I was almost going to title this Kinetic Kilauea, because look, Kilauea is showing its kinetic energy buildup is being expressed through earthquakes. This is why you're not seeing a bunch of earthquakes around the Pacific Rim. You're seeing them in the hub of the rim. Think of a wheel, like a bicycle wheel, like a bicycle rim that's circular. In the middle of the rim is the hub. This is the hub of the rim, and all the other activity is dying down around the rim because we got something major about to go on here in the hub. And then I'm going to zoom back in, and you can just see that we have got quite the event. Let me try dimming this a tad bit. Does that work? For some reason, there we go. Yeah, I want you guys to be able to denote the orange from the yellows. So this Kilauea is probably about to blow. Okay, this is probably our volcano that we're going to see. It might not be, a big blast at Reykjavik if we get some release of pressure from Kilauea here. And this is a huge swarm. This flurry right here, let's kind of take you into this little flurry right here. See how these are yellow? This was like this was earlier in the week. This one was earlier in the week. There are a couple of orange ones from today. A 2.8 there today. 2.3 there today. A 2.8 there today. But then over here in this zone, we also had today a 3.1, 2.6. Out here we had a 2.6. So they're small quakes. They're not micro quakes. They are 2.6 to 3. So this is releasing a lot of energy as well. But we need to watch out for Kilauea now. Okay, so here's our possible our new weak spot. Well, this is our new weak spot. It's where all the energy is being focused, is more at the hub of the Pacific Rim. Whew. Now let's come on over to the volcano report, because what was that? Can we get rid of this ad, Lord? Come on now, X out of this ad. Alrighty. So here we go already, February 1st. Fuego, Popo, Semaru, Ibu, Woo, what? Kilauea, Luatolo, and Sabancaya. Well, look at this. Kilauea, you guys. So Ibu here. Powerful eruption activity. The volcano goes on. Stronger than usual explosions. Stronger than usual explosions. 10,800 feet. Luatolo, 1,823 feet. Semaru, 14,000. Here we go. Kilauea. The activity beneath the volcano's summit has been picking up and energizing over the past hours and is still continuing. The summit area is being pressurized. The elevated seismic activity is confined to the summit region only. No unusual activity has been detected in the southwest rift zone. Well, we saw the whole thing. Anyways, here's Popo at 20,000 feet. Fuego at 15,000 feet. Sabancaya at 23,000 feet. Then let's get into today. That was just tomorrow. Yes, we report on tomorrow at this channel. And if we could get this to, there we go. Interesting family. Suinosejima. Rare genetic attributes, yes. Suinosejima exploded 4,000 feet. Ibu, 7,000. Luatobi. The heightened effusive eruption of the volcano continues. The lava on the northeast flank remains active, feeding the flow that advances slowly through the edifice's foothills on the northeast. All right, Semaru on the island of Java, still going off, 14,000 feet. This is flight level 140, is 14,000 feet. Here we go, Kilauea, the seismic swarm. Yes, we read that one already. In the past 24 hours, Kilauea has had 114 quakes of magnitudes up to 3.0, including one quake at 3. No, I saw one higher than that. And 60 quakes between magnitude 2 and 2.9. So quite a lot of them. They're saying, well, yeah, 60 to 114, that's 174. So we've seen more activity since that report. So over 174. Popo at 20,000 feet, you guys. Okay, Santa Guido, 14,000 feet. Reventador, 15,000 feet. Sabancaya at 23,000 feet. You know, I report on these elevations so much that it doesn't sound like much anymore. But we got to remember, these are all over 10,000 feet. And some of them are 20,000 feet. That's your pressure. That's your kinetic energy building up and coming out and being relieved in the form of volcanoes. And now we have a new volcano, or an old volcano, coming to life with a swarm of earthquake activity right here at Kilauea. So what do you think is going to happen? This thing's probably going to erupt and go active pretty soon. And we're going to see a blast out of it. All right. And it'll be our new active volcano on the map on this thing. Okay. Already on there. But these elevations, guys, take note of these elevations because they go higher and higher. The magma flows more. We get this upwelling of pressure, and then all of a sudden our volcano blasts are higher, our magma flows are longer, new volcanoes come to life. Over here, let's just kind of remind everybody, Bizimani, this is on the Kamchatka Peninsula, Dukono, Ebiko, Erebus, Erda Ale over here in Ethiopia. That's in Africa, you guys. Fuego, Ibu, Krakatau over here in the Sunda Strait. That's right by Java there. Krakatau is on the active list again, you guys, so watch out. Luatobi, Luatolo, Marapi. Here, let me just put it up at the top. Messiah, Marapi, Michael in the South Sandwich Islands. Remember the tip of the South America there. Niragongo over in Africa again. Popocatépetl in Mexico. Reventador in Ecuador. Okay. Recahenus. Look at this. It's already over here now. See, I bet you they're... Let's read this. 28 erupting volcanoes, 17 warning, 32 in unrest right now up here at the top. You see where my thing is? All right. A new hazard assessment map for Grindavik area has been published. I want to see what they're expecting as far. The area beneath the region continues to be inflated. Scientists from the IMO explain that it is too early to detect an uplift prior to the eruption on January 14th. No, it's not. We can, well, maybe they can't detect it, but I can tell you when the uplift is coming. Maybe they don't have monitors for it, but I can tell you right when it's about to come. And here comes the pressure now. So it's time to kind of clear out of that area. You're already seeing the gas coming out of that region right here. Come here, Iceland. Okay, we're already seeing the gas coming out of that region. So just like Hawaii, watch out. It's probably going to have an earthquake swarm. In fact, watch this, you guys. You see how I got this all earthquakes set up right here? This is all a week's worth of quakes, all magnitude set up on this map. Let's go over to Iceland, shall we? What's this? Iceland hasn't had a single quake. Right. That's why it's over here on this list. And I'm sure in this article they'll say, oh, experiencing a bunch of little small quakes, new ground cracks. Okay. That's something we're going to have to watch for. New ground cracks. Those are the crust stretching and then cracking. It's like the pressure underneath is like stretching the skin of a balloon, and eventually the weak spot in the balloon will give out. I was kind of looking for a little bit more. New ground cracks and graben indicate continuing magma intrusion. So they do have continuing magma intrusion. Let's get out of here and come on over to our forecast. Come on, forecast. Boom. Let that play for you for a minute. See how these storms are scraping the coastline right there? Okay, yeah, it has made a few adjustments, which is typical because weather is constantly changing. The definition of weather is constantly changing. All right, so here we are, severe weather impacting the West Coast right now. In fact, we're just going to kind of, I should maybe pull up a real radar to get a good image of this, but for our forecast purposes, here we are being impacted. Severe weather hitting the coastline of southern or northern California, all the way down to like Santa Barbara area, Monterey Bay area. Severe weather, even up here in Puget Sound area, British Columbia area. Northern California getting hit with severe weather, snow in the mountains here pretty soon. So let me back out of that. Get this a little bit better for you guys. All right, here we go. Current conditions going into the morning of the 1st here. Severe weather down here in the Southern California coast, snow in the mountains, rain up in here as well. This will be the noontime hours. So severe weather hitting San Diego area now, even the border area. Really heavy rains in the foothills and heavy snow right in the foothills area. So there's going to be a lot of runoff coming here and flash flooding in the valley area there. As we go, this continues to drive down into Mexico a little bit by the convection of the 1st. Then we go into the nighttime of the 1st, morning of the 2nd. Now it's kind of scattered out. Snow has penetrated deeper into Utah, Colorado, Arizona, Idaho. Okay, this will be the noontime of the 2nd. Still moisture trailing behind here. The convection. The nighttime of the 2nd. Look at how this moisture has snuck up in here at convection time, and then by nighttime actually goes severe as this low tries to wrap up and produce here. Little tailings of severe weather here possible in Texas, Louisiana border area there by, whoops, that was the morning of the 3rd, noontime. Severe weather possible along the coast here, even up in there. The end of convection right here. So this is right on the shoreline. Let me just kind of zoom in a little bit better. See, it's just off the coast right here, whipping back into Louisiana. Oh my goodness. I think it's Times and Signs channels has somebody took a picture of 7 water spouts out here the other day when we had one of these storms going through. But out on the ocean, there were 7 water spouts. I'll try to find that image for you. Anyways, at this moment right here, it's scraping the shoreline and not really kind of coming on land. So that's a good, let's pray it continues on that trajectory there. Still severe, but offshore by the night of the 3rd. Watch out for this sneaking in here to Southern California now, because this is going to be that low wrapping up right there. Watch this as it comes towards the west coast of Florida in the morning or the noontime of the 4th here, going into convection of the 4th, into the nighttime of the 4th, morning of the 5th. Look at this, just a gnarly mess. Watch out here. This could rotate back on land. Watch. Well, it does kind of start offshore, but then moving away, actually. So I'm trying to watch both of these, but this is going to be a big impactor for California, who just got hit with that first one. This one's really going to add insult to injury. So everybody in California, brace for a double shot, an impact. It's going to be quite one. Anyways, we're at noontime of the 5th. This will be convection the 5th, nighttime, morning of the 6th. Wow. Good thing that wrapped up offshore. That's the noontime of the 6th, convection, nighttime, morning of the 7th, noon, convection. Wow, that just missed the East Coast right there. Nighttime, you see this low wrapping up in here now. Morning of the 8th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 9th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 10th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 8th, or 11th, sorry, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 12th, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, and then after that, kind of clear up for a little bit there. All right, so there's your forecast for that. And now, everybody, we all got to watch Rick Hanus and Kilauea closely because lately it seems our kinetic energy has been dispersed through volcanic activity. And when we see a bunch of earthquakes at the base of a volcano, that's an indicator that we're going to probably see that volcano go off here. I wish we had better earthquake information on Recahanus. I can go later on to find a better site for that. But for the meantime, that's your kind of average report for tonight. Okay, let's get rid of this one and this one. Some of these instruments take up a lot of my poor little computer's brain. It can't handle all of it. So I got to take some of these down before I continue forward here. All right. So let's come on over to my channel here. What you want to do? Oh, all right. Well, let's just get started here. So hopefully you guys are up for this a little bit. If we can get my channel to pull up. Thank you. All righty. So we're going to wake up call. All right. There it is. Let's see if we can get her right on the frame. Here. Okay. This was September 10th of 2017. I want you to look down here. September 10th of 2017. All right. This is 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment. All right. Turn this up a little bit. Our object right here. This looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that side. Let's see. That's what I was trying to do is capture this image a little better now that I got a better camera. So, oh yeah, instead of doing that, let's bring down the tint a little bit. Now, whoops, right about there. Now, can you see the other wing on this side over here, the one that matches this one? You can see it kind of curling back over there on that side. That's what I was trying to capture, was the other wing on the other side, because it's kind of mixed in with the plasma there. So your round black object, you got this this X flare came out of the top of the sun, connected to this object. We had the flare come out of the bottom part of the sun, and this whole magnetic loop right here connected when this object and its magnetic field passed through that loop, through that boundary. It went bzzz and sparked off this huge X flare right here, which illuminated the plasma around the outside of the core. And there's your fabled winged planet, Nibiru, showing up, the dragon showing up 13 days before the Revelation 12 sign, as promised in the Bible. The Bible says, and then there was another sign. A great dragon stood in front of the woman, stood before the woman. Well, this is 13 days in front of the alignment. This is 13 days before the alignment. All right. So there's your Nibiru. Not a lens flare, actual object captured by NASA's satellite on when it was due. Everybody else was like, oh, Nibiru the Dragon's going to be showing up, and they all missed it. Everybody missed it. And God showed this to me, and it made me sit down for hours and stare at this until I finally saw what he was trying to show me. And then there's more. So let's continue. Because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. All right, can you guys see that? Can you see this conical thing of plasma being sucked off of the sun from the top to the north in this cone shape, slamming the surface of this stellar core? Actually, this thing fits the definition of a lot of different objects. All right. But when it hits the surface, it spreads out in a circular fashion like a damage ring or an impact zone. Okay, so there's Nibiru and the Destroyer. This thing is very dark. It's a black hole. You can't see it unless it gets draped with plasma. See, a black hole is not a hole in the space-time continuum like Star Trek or that bullshit teaches you. A black hole is a dead star. It's the core of a dead star, a supermassive star that collapsed down and died, and the core is so dense and stripped of protons and electrons of any kind of energy that it turns into a different phase, into dark matter. And this dark matter is super depleted of energy, and anytime it gets next to some kind of energy, it sucks energy off of it. And this time the CME splashed over it like a tablecloth draped over an invisible table. It's almost impossible to see this object unless it's draped with plasma. This white circle denotes the size of the sun. This thing is much bigger. This thing is much bigger than our sun. Our sun is the biggest object in our solar system. It controls our planets and everything, right? The only thing that could affect the sun would be something bigger than the sun. And now we have Nibiru and the Nemesis showing up September 10th, 2017, as foretold in the Bible. Moving on. Oh, we need to get rid of that squeak there. Now, where are we going, Lord? Oh, I know what you want to do. Yep. I know where you're going with this. What we need sound?
To fulfill a 2,000-year-old prophecy, and there appeared a great one.
Pause that for a second. Get full screen a little bit here. I want you to take note of the date. Everybody knows this date, but I want you to see it again.
On September 23rd, 2017.
When? September 23rd.
Sun, moon, and stars.
2017. Is this? Oh, it's not bright enough. Oh, wrong way. September 23rd, 2017, 13 days after Nibiru and the Nemesis show up, the dragon of Revelation 12 stands before the woman who's about to give birth. All right, this whole prophecy, 2,000-year-old prophecy, comes true 13 days later. This should have shooken the world right here, but everybody kind of poo-pooed it and moved on. But this is God's timepiece. This is his clock. He doesn't use our Gregorian calendars. He uses the stars and seasons and the sun and the moon, right? Well, here's the great sign in heaven come true. The great sign in heaven came true, and the dragon showed up too. All right, so there was that. Now where, Lord? Oh, I know where to go now. He's very impatient. I can tell. Whew. All right, now we just did this one.
Protect your body
last
from
night.
harm by wearing this Nano Protect Armor Guardian vest from Rick Pin.
Good idea to get one of those, maybe. All right.
Yeah, you can see a lot better with the filter. Before it was really faint and it was hard to see. Same with this. This came out a little bit. Okay, in this image here.
Okay, then this event happens in my garage 12 days after the star alignment. No, 11 days. This was October 4th of 2017. It's the date of it's up here above this. Anyways, I'll just read it for you. This event right here took place in my house. This is my garage, but still in my dwelling out in our manger. This event took place.
You were still in the garage with our same display right here. And this was actually captured the day before the other picture, but I hadn't found it for years later until I was digging around through my, my old pictures and stuff and went even further back to see if I'd missed anything. And I captured this one. And we're going to zoom into this streak right up here, this one right here. Just bear with me for a second here. Now, hopefully, you can see that we have a lady's profile here. Here's her eye, here's her forehead, her snub little nose, here's the bottom jaw. She's smiling, she's looking down, and she's holding a baby. And here's the baby's head right here. Here's the face, the back of the head. Here's her arm cupped around like this, and she's holding the baby. Now I'm going to run this through the filter real quick. And
before I do run it through the filter, let me tone it down a little bit like this. Now, can you see her face a little more clearly right here? The eye, the nose, her smile, her headdress coming over. She's looking down. You can see the baby's head right here. Her arms cupped around it. All right. Let me see. Yeah, it captured it pretty well there. All right, this is the spiritual realm, electromagnetic, showing up on my cameras.
That's it, but a little bit too much. But see, now you can really make out her profile a lot better and see her face, and her headdress is coming over and going down back behind her. And you can still make out the baby's head right here.
Actually, now let's try doing it, dimming it this time with the filter for the baby's head. Oop, right there. You can see the baby's head there. Right back here. You can even make out his little ear. All right. That's the Revelation 12 baby being born in my manger, in my house, in my garage.
And maybe if I pull back a little bit, there we go. And this was captured on October 4th. So this was about 11 days after the Revelation 12 sign. All this stuff started happening to me just prior to the Revelation 12 sign and then right after it. So it said the woman was about to give birth. Well, it looks like maybe she gave birth, and here's the little baby being caught up to God.
All right, so that happened in my garage. And some other crazy stuff happened to me. And then we had this event happen the very next day. After that baby was born in the garage, we had this event happen.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So I've been going through some of the old photos and running them through the filter, and this was one of the first ones that I had ever captured. And what's going on here is I'm here on my knees. I'm crying and screaming and praying all through my head, and we're going to zoom in on this. You can't go in too tight on it, but she's looking down at my head this way.
Okay. There's Mary looking at me while I'm praying. Here's what I call the God eye. It's an orb with a friggin' eye in it. And then there's an angel off to the side over here. But what I want to try to do real quick is see if we can capture Mary a little bit better here. And this isn't a Catholic thing, it's more than that. Mary's the son of Jesus, or the mother of Jesus. And this is a display I had made of the sun, and that cardboard tube was the conduit. I had it kind of taped in between these two as a three-dimensional display. I was trying to show a scientist. I was trying to describe what God had shown me here, and he was like, "What? No, no, no!" And I'm like, "Here, let me give you a three-dimensional display of it." And this is the sun and Nemesis and Nibiru back here in the background, trying to be that three display. And then Mary shows up looking at my head, and we also have an angel over here in the side.
Of light. Here's his head. There's a glow over the head. The wings are extended, and there's a feather coming off. The last feather coming off is crossing over these brown roof tiles in the background here. And you can make out there's an angel right here. And you can even see his head right here.
This is an anointing ceremony. I thought at first it was just some angels showing up on my cameras, right? Come to find out later, this was an anointing ceremony for enduring what I had gone through just prior to this. So, where are we going next, Lord? Okay, we're moving on. We're really going there tonight, too? Oh my gosh, he's on a roll. All right, hopefully you guys are going to stick around, I guess. Oh.
Back. So I've been going through some more of these pictures and running them through the filter and stuff. And not only were we finding angels and Mary and stuff, but there's also demons, and I've also found Satan in this stuff too. So as we're looking here at this picture, what I'm talking about is in this mosaic of blotchy white dots that you see this picture is comprised of. When you zoom in really tight in on a picture, you'll see that it's made up of these splotchy little patches and dots. These new digital cameras make these little blotches. Well, hiding in these blotches are faces. And if you haven't seen it yet, there's an eye right here and an eye right here. And when you make eye contact with these two eyes right here, you'll see the mouth fall into place down here. It's snarling. If you look, it's got some kind of streaks or horns or something or wrinkles coming out of its head up here. And this is some kind of demon or principality. You know, other people refer to them as principalities, but this is what I'm talking about. And hopefully you can see this here. This is a pupil right here of an eye. This is a pupil of a bigger eye. Here's the whites of the eye, the white of this eye. These two eyes. Once you look at those, you'll see it falls into place. Maybe I'll pull back a little bit. You can see.
Electromagnetic residue from the spiritual realm left on the cameras. What else, Lord? You're going to show them this too? Where to go? Let me show them that too.
Pointed at the couch now because I've been capturing activity around this couch. And one night I was just sitting on my couch there praying and wasn't really thinking of capturing anything. Here I was just sitting here praying before I started taking pictures or doing my thing, and it was already running. And lo and behold, there's some kind of demon up here. You'll see some green wings over here kind of flapping, and it lifts up my bike and spits a bolt of energy on it. And I had no idea this happened until I went back through my pictures and stuff. And I put this series into motion in a flip book. And I realized, oh my goodness, look what happened. It picked up my bike and spit a bolt of energy on it. This one, you can't really see the face too well, but you can make out the wings kind of flapping.
All right there. The spiritual realm now physically interacting, poltergeist activity, messing with my mic here.
It will pull it over a little this way, a little more. There we go. And this thing turns, picks up my bike, lifts it up, and spits a bolt of energy on it.
All right. Then, oh yeah, we'll just continue on.
Okay, there's that. I'll let you look at that one for a second longer. Okay, in this series here, I'm sitting on the couch again praying, camera set up, and you'll see a purple streak, a bolt come in here, right there, boom. And it hurt. You can see my reaction to it. So we'll let it run again. Here I am sitting here praying. There's all kinds of stuff jumping around in the background, and then zap right there. And that was a real one. I could feel it. And now when I go back, we're going to go back to the top of that bolt and zoom in on the face. Okay, so here's the frame out of that sequence of me getting hit with that bolt. You can see the bolt coming down here. It's got a kind of a purple hue to it or whatever. And then we're going to start zooming in to the face up top here, and it's going to be Satan's face. So you guys ready to see this? If not, you might want to stop the video at this point. But I do not glorify this at all. I do not like to give him attention, but it's important to know that he's real, because he wants everybody to think that he's not real. I think you might be able to see this face without me pointing anything out yet. There we go. Okay, so let me zoom out so I can see it. If you look right here at this eye, this is his crazed eye. The other on the other side is bigger. It's the all-seeing eye. It's a little out of proportion, but then you can make out the side of his face, his jawline coming down, the bottom of his chin, his face going up here. Here's his mouth with some evil kind of grin on it. You can see his ear coming out over here. You can make out horns coming up. And this is in that mosaic of dots again, but these faces pop out and they're more prominent. You can see this one really stands out. And that's Satan right there. You can even make out some wings coming up here.
When we pull back more, you'll see him.
And he's mad. He's mad because
There
I'm
we go.
praying. And he's spitting bolts of energy at me and spitting on my bike and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So it's important that you guys know.
All right, you guys had enough of that one. It's important that you guys know that this entity is real. And he's here now, roaming around, obviously causing chaos. Plain as day. All right? But it's important to know that hell, all of this stuff, both sides, this is not demonic. This is biblical. Okay? It's attacking me. It's attacking my bike. It's attacking me because of who I am. Where we going now, Lord? Wow, I guess we're doing something different tonight. So here we go. Yep, I know where you're going. So cool. I know what he's thinking when he starts leading me. I'm like, oh, I know what you're thinking. I know where you're going with this.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So these faces that I've been showing you in the last few videos that are in the etherical or in that mosaic that I was talking about are not only taking place there, but now they're taking shape in our clouds. And with this new filter, I was able to go through some of these pictures, and it really makes them pop now. So if you can't see it yet, there's an eye here, an eye here. Here's the nose, a mouth down below. Here's an ear coming back up, the jaw running down, little pointed chin. And this face seems to almost be bisected. One half is like a goblin, and this other half looks like almost like a Wolverine or a Ewok type character. So I'll let you look at that for a minute. And this was pretty faint in the original picture, but now with the filter, it really makes it pop. So hopefully you guys. Okay, one more, and this one right here, you can make out we have an eye here and an eye right here. Here's the nose, and here's some lips, and it looks like he's blowing. You can make out his ear over here, horns and stuff coming up, his eyebrows.
That stuff's happening in your clouds, you guys. You guys don't even know. That's why you're supposed to look up.
There we go.
Or don't look up.
A little bit better. An eye, the nose, the lips. Okay, so I wanted to show you that one with the filter, so you can see it. It turned out pretty good too. So, well, that's it for now. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed this.
All right, so moving on. Now we got giant faces in the clouds chasing me everywhere I go. Yes, they watch me, they study me, they follow, watch, and study, much like you guys do. Huh, you guys follow and watch and study, don't you?
This event happened.
All right, so there's our image, Jesus showing up in the clouds on Easter 2020. Let me get the light set up for a long reading tonight. Oh boy. All right, here we go. Seek me with your whole being. I desire to be found by you. I orchestrate the events of your life with that purpose in mind. When things go well and you are blessed, you can feel me smiling on you. When you encounter rough patches along your life journey, trust that my light is still shining upon you. My reasons for allowing these adversities may be shrouded in mystery, but my continual presence with you is an absolute promise. So seek me in good times and seek me in hard times. You will find me watching over you all the time. Living in dependence on me is a glorious adventure. Most people scurry about busily trying to accomplish things through their own strength and ability. Some I need my glasses here. Ugh. Some succeed enormously, others fail miserably. But both groups miss what life is meant to be, living and working in collaboration with me. When you depend on me continually, your whole perspective changes. You see miracles happening all around, while others see only natural occurrences and coincidences. You begin each day with joyful expectation, watching to see what I will do next. You accept weakness as a gift from me, knowing that my power pulls in most readily the consecrated weaknesses. You keep your plans tentative, knowing that my plans are far superior. You consciously live, move, and have your being in me, desiring that I live in you, I in you, and you in me. This is the intimate adventure that I offer you. Oh, this too now? Okay. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed. Nothing on earth seems as enduring or immovable as soaring, majestic. Here, let me start again. Nothing on earth seems as enduring or immovable as soaring majestic mountains. When you stand on their heights, breathing in that rarefied air, you can almost smell eternity. Yet my love and my peace are even more enduring than the greatest mountain on earth. Think deeply about my unfailing love. One of the meanings of unfailing is unexhaustible. So no matter how needy you are or how many times you fail me, my supply of love for you will never run low. Another meaning of unfailing is constant. I do not love you more on days when you perform well, nor do I love you less on days when you fail badly. I myself am your peace. So live close to me so you can enjoy this supernatural peace. Come freely into my presence, beloved, even when you're feeling bad about yourself. Remember who I am. The Lord who was has compassion on you. So relax, my child. I am in control. Let these words wash over you repeatedly, like soothing waves on beautiful beach, assuring you of my endless love. You waste a lot of time and energy trying to figure out things before their time has come. Meanwhile, I am working to prepare the way before you. So be on the lookout for some wonderful surprises, circumstances that only I could have orchestrated. Remember that you're my beloved. I am on your side, and I want what is best for you. Someone who is loved by a generous, powerful person can expect to receive an abundance of blessings. You are loved by the King of the universe, and I have good plans for you. As you look ahead into the unknown future, relax in the knowledge of who you are, the one I love. Cling to my hand, and let's go forward with confidence. While you and I walk together along the path of life, you trust in me will fill your heart with joy and your mind with peace. Whoa, what happened to my image there? Look away for a second, goes down. All right, so hopefully you guys have heard that. Let's get this image a little better. Actually, there. There's another one. Where? So walk with me in close, trusting love bonds of joyful dependence. Joyful dependence may sound like an oxymoron, but it is the most fulfilling way to live. When you delight in relying on me, you are living according to my perfect design for you. The relationship I offer you is full of glorious riches. I am totally trustworthy, and I reach out to you with unfailing love. I am closer than the very air you are breathing. I rejoice when you seek to live in trusting reliance on me. This strengthens our relationship, building more and more bonds of affection between us. A happily married man and woman are connected by much more than law and morality. Their warm memories of shared experiences create ties that draw them close and keep them committed to each other. So, dear one, I want you to know that I am totally committed to you. I can fill your heart with loving memories as you walk in the light of my presence, joyfully depending on me. Whew. All right, so what a bit there. What? Another one? What's this? Okay. Cowardly or courageous? The chairman of the history department of one of our great universities once stated his opinion to me. We have become a nation of cowards. I challenged his statement, but he argued that too many people have become reluctant to follow a course if it isn't popular. I had to admit, he was right. Even if deep inside we know it to be right, we draw back because we are afraid of the consequences. If the odds are in our favor, we will take a stand. But if there's any risk involved in standing up for what we know to be right, we will play it safe. How differently from the early Christians. From one end of the Roman Empire to the other, they boldly proclaimed the gospel in the face of hostility, persecution, scorn, and even death. The Apostle Paul knew the key, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. You may never face the same dangers those early Christians did, but don't take the road of cowardice. Don't give in to fear. Remember, if God is for us, who can be against us? All right. Wow. I don't know. Cool. All right, so that's our message for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you love these images and this little story that's been going on here. And quite the boy, quite the affliction that I've been going through here, and it hasn't been easy. Very, very painful, but I'm very thankful for it. I embrace the pain. It makes makes me remember I'm still alive. I'm thankful for it. It's builds character, so you got to look at it in positive light, and things are a little easier. So, especially knowing that your Savior's very close to you right now. Yep. Anyways, I love you all. God bless you all. I think that's it for this show. Yep, I think that's it for the show. One last thing. I pledge allegiance to the God who rescued the United States of America, and in order for the Republic to stand as one nation under God, we need to be indivisible if we want liberty and justice for all. That's it for tonight. I love you all. God bless you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I'm already back. Can't you tell?